Hi, good morning. It is the 19th of December and I am so running out of time because I want to show you all this gorgeous yarn. I'm going to double up. So we're going to do a 2 and a 2. So we'll get them done by midweek. So if you wanted to try any of the techniques, you can do. So I've got them on the table. I'm just checking which numbers I have. Here we go. Right, so we're going to do 9 and 10 first. Oh, and there's an extra little gift on number 10 there, so that would be quite nice. Little Mouse is definitely getting an outfit out of these two. If you've not, I'm just looking, Little Mouse is over there. If you've not seen Little Mouse before, I'll introduce her on the next section and show you what I'm going to be doing with her. But I don't know what colours are in here, but I know it's something that doesn't really matter what colour it is. So that is going to be my 9 and 10. I'll see you in a minute. Top down, we'll have a look at the wool and we'll try a little project out as well. I will see you in a second. So here is number 9 and 10, and as promised, Mrs. Mouse is here too. Now, if you've not seen the other videos, I mentioned that everywhere you see these that are like doing a wool craft, it's always knitting. So I wanted one that does crochet. I do have to make her a little crochet hook yet. I've done it before, but I'm going to have a little think about that. But basically, I'm going to have I think I'm going to do her a little shawl, and she's going to have a little granny square of crochet and her hook, and then she can go on my tree because she can be like my little crochet, little hair on her there, my little crochet granny square mouse. So I will have one just for me. But we're going to be looking at the yarn first. We have number 9. As I mentioned in the previous part, we're doing 2 together because I am seriously running behind. Let me have a look. Oh, this is perfect. Absolutely love the colour green. As some of you know if you watch my other videos, green is one of my favourite colours. The greens and the plummy colours, absolutely love them. And this is perfect. This is so perfect. Just look at that. Look at the sparkle. You can see all the sparkle in it as well this morning. I don't know, that's because the light is so dull outside. The artificial light is picking it up. But just look at that. Oh, can't wait. So soft. And we're going to do 10 as well. But 10 has a little extra. So let's see what my little extra is. I think you probably all guess what it might be, but what type is it is the question. Let's see if we can get in it. Oh, look at this. Now, I do really, really like this stitch marker. How beautiful is that? You can see it quite well, can't you? Oh, I'm dropping it. You can see it quite well there. It's weird though, because we're not actually going to need a stitch marker for Mrs. Mouse, but I have all my yarns in a little bowl at the moment. So that's going to pop in there, and I will make sure it is used at some point because it is just so lovely. I will be definitely using that as a stitch marker. Love swans. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. Right, so we'll pop my stitch marker to one side. So that is amazing. A little extra there that I didn't know I was getting. And then into the yarn. What colour I can see we have a, is it peachy, sort of yellowy? Yeah, I can't think of the colours. Yeah, it's sort of going towards an orange, but it has this pink through it as well. This is the thing I like about artisan yarns. They're so unique, the way the colours come together. I know a lot of people class these as a sock wool, which they are, but for me they're just perfect mini projects, perfect doll skeins. They're just absolutely gorgeous. Can't wait to get these wound up. That is lovely. So Mrs. Mouse, what do you fancy, green or yellow? Do you want green? I think green. Let's have a look. What does green go with your... Oh, look, she looks very glamorous. Might leave it like that. There she goes. She looks like she's got a stole on now, doesn't it? I think the green, because green's my favourite colour. But I suppose she could have a green shawl and she could have a granny square in that. I don't know yet. I've got to wind them up and then we will have a think about that. So that is my 9 and 10. So I will see you very soon with the actual project. We're going to get Little Mouse all decked up, and I will also see you very soon with the final 2. As I mentioned before, it's a good job it's only 12 days, isn't it? Because, yeah, I'm all out this week, but I want to get to Christmas Eve and just and breathe. That is the aim, and it's looking that way. It's just a little bit chaotic up to there. So I will see you in a few moments with Mrs. Mouse's project. Hi, here is the project for 9 and 10, because obviously I'm having to put 2 together now because I'm so running out of time. I can't believe how fast it is going. Good job, as I've mentioned before 100 times probably, good job it's only 12 days. So these are the gorgeous yarns I wound up, and I'd mentioned my little Mrs. Mouses that I commented that everywhere you go you can buy them where they're holding a pair of knitting needles and piece of knitting, and I I can knit, I don't knit. And I wanted a crochet one. I'm just looking around. I thought I'd lost my little hook then. So I have 2 little mouses now. I did only have one. Unfortunately, for some reason, this one's neck's a little bit wobbly, but we're hoping to rectify that. My felting needle's broken, otherwise I would have just felted it back in. I haven't made these, by the way. They're really cheap. They were from Tesco. A lot of places are selling them off as well now, or you may already have one. Now, I did whittle a little crochet hook. It's not the best one in the world, but it's just basically a skewer. But if you are doing something like this, please be careful, because it is, well, you're using a little tiny knife. I use a little tiny sort of exo knife there, and a little bit of sandpaper. I couldn't think of the word. In fact, it's like a nail file that I used. So be careful if you're doing that, because it's really easy. Or if you've got an old crochet hook, not necessarily a metal one, if you've got an old wooden one, you could cut it off, because I had considered that, but I haven't got any small enough. I don't really like wooden crochet hooks, so it's not something I really have. So it's just a little hook. It's just a little pretend little hook. She doesn't even have to have a hook. But what I wanted to do for her was a little granny square for her to hold with her little crochet hook, which I'm going to be sort of gluing onto there. And I also wanted a little scarf, especially as this little girl now has got a bit of a wobbly neck, bless her. We need to work it out. So I'm not sure. I think perhaps one of them can have the green, but then there is another colour that I've already seen, because I did do the part of the other video for my 11 and 12, which I might keep for the other girl. So I think we're going to work in green. I absolutely love this colour, but I don't think it works well with her grey and her white. That's why I've decided not to use it. So, but it will be going into something. It will be making a dolly make, plus the ends will be going in my sort of sock yarn blanket, as I call it. So we're going to move little mouses there. I'm going to pop my yarn, oh, a bit of fluff there, into my yarn bowl, and we're going to do the granny square. We can all do a granny square, and if you can't, I do have a tutorial for basic granny squares. They are so easy, so therapeutic. Absolutely love them to bits. So I've got my slip knot on here, and I'm just going to pop it onto my hook, and it doesn't need to be a big square, but just enough to sort of cover her tummy perhaps. And we're going to start with our 6 chains. So that's 1, 2, oh, nearly dropped it already. I mean, you just started. Let's start again with that. My hands are a little bit cold today. It has warmed up a little bit here, but it is still cold. And for some reason, my craft room just does not hold the heat. So 5 chained. I said 6, didn't I? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we've got a 6 chain. We're going to join that chain into a little circle by slipping into the first one, pulling it through and pulling it through, and then just tighten that little bit there. Now be careful, you do need to make sure you go in this circle, so make sure you know where it is. We're going to do 3 chain, 1, 2 and 3. We're going to do 2 more trebles into that ring, 1 and 2. So that's my first little set of trebles, because that first set of 3 chains, should I say, does count as a treble. So I'm going to do 2 chain, and then I'm going to do 3 more trebles into the ring. So we have 1, we have 2, and we have 3. I'm going to do 2 chain, 1 and 2, and 3 more trebles into that circle. 1, 2, and 3. So you can see we'll need 1 more set. So 2 chain. Oh, I think little mouses might get in the way there. Let's just move them over there a little bit, because I think there they come. Look at that, they're peeping in on us there, because I think they're going to catch. So I did the 2 chain, and I need 3 more trebles into that ring. So 1, 2, and 3. Now I need to join now, because I only need 4 as it's a granny square. I'm not going to do my 2 chain here. I know a lot of people like to do that, and then they sort of slip stitch into this one. I like to work from here. So all I'm going to do is into the top of that 3 chain, I'm going to do, well, when I tighten my yarn up a bit, I'm going to do a double crochet. Okay, might feel a bit weird. You don't have to do it that way. You do a granny square however you do granny squares. It says that I can't even get it through now. That's because I've done it too tight. Oh, go back in again. Right, double crochet. That's what I wanted. There you go. So I want to do 3 chain, and directly below, so it's between the 3 there and the 3 there, I'm going to do 2 more trebles. My pussycat has now joined me. Yes, I can hear you. So we have 3 trebles. I need 2 chains, and I need another 3 trebles into that same space, because it's a corner, and that is what we're needing to create here. So that's 2 and that's 3. I'm going to just jump to the next space here, next 2 chain space, and I'm going to do 3 trebles, 1, 2 and 3. I'm going to do 2 chain and another 3 trebles into that same space, 1, 2 and 3. Jump to the next space, 3 trebles, 2 chain, 3 trebles, 1, 2, 3, 2 chain and 3 trebles, 1, 2 and 3. And I'm going to do one more corner, so jump straight into that next one, and each corner has 3 trebles, 1, 2 and 3. It has 2 chain and it has another 3 treble into the same space, 1, 2 and 3. I'm now going to do a slip stitch join this time because it's not on a corner, so it's easier to do. So at the top of that 3 chain, I'm just going to do a slip stitch. Okay, so there you can see we have a little square, and to be honest, I think it's about right, but I want to make it look like she's not finished her square. So here I'm going to do 3 chain, 1, 2 and 3, and into the one directly below 2 more trebles. So that's a side, that's not a corner, so it's only the one set. The next one is a corner, so we're going to jump to that corner and we're going to do 3 trebles, 1, 2 and 3, 2 chain and 3 trebles, 1, 2 and 3. The next one is what I call a side because it's not a corner basically. So into this one, 3 trebles, 1, 2 and 3. My next one is a corner, so it's 1, 2, 3, 2 chain and 3 trebles, 1, 2 and 3. Right, and I think I'm going to leave it there, so it looks like it's slightly odd. Maybe shall we do just one more? I think I'll do one more set here before the corner, and we'll leave it at that. 1, 2 and 3, because I don't want it to look like she's finished it. I want it to look like she's still crocheting, so it's almost making her a blanket actually, isn't it? So in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a little bit of yarn. We need some yarn there. Now I do need to fasten it off because it's going to come undone. I know we're going to try and make it look like she's doing it, but you don't want it coming undone either. So I have a long piece of yarn here. Now you might need a little bit of glue here, so I'm just going to tiny, oh, it's on her foot, wrap it into a little ball if I can. So you can see we've got a tiny piece of yarn there. I think I need to put a little bit of glue on that. I have some fabric glue, or PVA glue is great. I mean, for sticking it on, a PVA glue is great. So if I put my little hook in like that and then give it to my little mouse, I think that should have been a bigger ball. Do you think? I can make that bigger, that's not a problem. So my little mouse will have her crochet hook and she will have her granny square to crochet. So I will take a picture of her, which you'll have seen in the thumbnail when it's all put together. Whereas at the moment, obviously, you can't really see. I think for the ball, maybe, would it hold? No, she needs to hold her crochet, doesn't it? It's going to have to sort of stick around her foot area, or so maybe there, something like that. So I will sort that out so you can see what it looks like. Now, if you want to make it look finer, because obviously this looks like she's making a chunky blanket, doesn't it, to her? Use a cotton, I don't know, maybe I'm trying to think of the right sort, maybe an Anchor 8 or a DMC cotton or something like that, something finer if you're wanting to do that. But it's a great way of using a little bit of sort of ends of a sock yarn. So I'm just going to pop that there because it does need finishing off, but that's all you need for the actual pattern. And So now she's got her granny square, she needs a little scarf, doesn't she? And I've got to try and repair that neck a little bit. I'll work a way of doing it. So we're going to be slip stitch onto here. Now for a scarf, it needs to sort of come round a little bit. I'm only going to sort of bring it to here because I'm going to pop a little button on it to hold it together. So I think 40 chain should do it. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We're halfway. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Just 10 more. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39 and 40. So that will do. If you want to just have a little check, because your mouse might be a different size, or it might not even be a mouse that you're wanting to do it with. So you basically, if I can get hold of it, let me take the hook out a minute, that would make it a little bit easier. So what I want is it to just cross over at the front, and I'm happy with that. So 40 is quite a good measurement for my mouse anyway. So what I'm going to do next is we're just going to do 1 row of trebles. That's it. We're going to have 40 trebles. It's as simple as that. But to get a turning chain, we need to do 3. Now, I'll put my hook back on the wrong way around there. Let me get it in right. That's it. So I want 1, 2, 3. That counts as my first treble. Then in the 4th chain from the hook, I'm going to do another treble. And then carrying it on all the way along. Getting that one. There we go. I know the foundation rows are never easy rows, so it's not great, but you've only got to do the 1 row. That's all there is to it. Now, because they are trebles, I don't have to worry about a buttonhole, because look at the space you get with a treble. So I can position a tiny button, or you don't have to have a little button at all. You can just cross it across and maybe stitch it into place. But I was going to add a little button. I've got some little star buttons, which are quite cute. I've got a little green one, a little white one. I'm not sure which one I'm going to go for yet. We'll wait till we get to the end. So here we go, just treble, treble, treble. That's the only problem with scarves, though. They take so long. Oh, I can remember doing a person scarf, and I was so pleased with it. It was a lovely scarf. But it started with 300 chain, and you're like, oh, that's okay, I can do that. But then because it was one of these that was a bit curly, then you started adding in like 3 stitches to each of your stitches. So then you had like 900 stitches, and then it did it again, and then it had sort of like a little sort of, I can't describe the word, what am I calling it, a shell, for want of a better word. It had a little shell shape to it, so then that added like another 5 stitches to each of these stitches. It was like, so I got like well over 1,000 stitches before I'd finished. I mean, it was lovely, but they're not something you'd want to show on a YouTube video. I think it'd be something to go to sleep to. I don't know about anything else, but they do take a long time. I do love doing my scarves, big scale. I mean, I've got quite a few of my own, but it's just not something that's very easy to do in tutorials. You'd have to just show a section and then just say, oh, carry on, because it'd take hours and hours to do. Unlike this one, which is nearly there. This is a quick little scarf. Yay, that's what we like. The whole point of these projects are so that they are super quick. They're not particularly complicated. They're just something probably anybody could have a go at. I mean, this scarf is a great one. So if you've got a very beginner or a young person that's just started crocheting, something like that, it's a great one that they can make little scarves if they wanted to make them for the dolls or teddy bears or anything like that. It's just really quick and easy. If you wanted to sort of see some slightly more complicated sort of Christmassy-esque things, I do have more Christmas things on my YouTube. Of course, I have my chocolate orange covers, but also I have my last year's Vlogmas, which has got quite a few sort of projects on there that are a little bit more detailed than these. So we've only got a few more to go. That was nice and quick. How many we got? 2 more? Yeah, 2 more. I love how this green is coming out. And our last treble. And we've done. Right, let me find those buttons. Look, I got these little star buttons. I think these were from somewhere like The Works. I mean, I do have smaller round buttons, but I just thought these were quite cute. Something a little bit different. Obviously, we need to sew our ends in. But yeah, it's just how simple that is. Just a very basic little scarf. I'm going to get the little one without her neck that's damaged, actually, because I don't want to sort of be pulling on that. So look at that. She has a nice little scarf. You can wrap it round a couple of times if you want, or you can just cross it across the body. But as I said, because of the type of stitches it is, you can see we get a gap, yeah? So all I need to do, these are actually sticky on here, so you do have to get the sticky bit off. All I need to do is sew on my little button, maybe about there, and then because of the size of these stitches, I will show you the button should just go straight through. Okay, so we stitch it on and then we can push it over, so she's got a nice little scarf. It would look quite cute actually if we sort of wrap it round, sort of like a little old-fashioned sort of scarf there. That's quite cute like that, isn't it? I will complete it with the button and everything, and on the photo you will see that. And then of course she's got her crochet, so she's obviously made herself a little scarf, and now perhaps she's making a blanket because it's getting a little bit chilly, so she needs to keep warm. So I'll get these finished so I can do a nice little picture. And on my next yarn, obviously I'm going to pinch some of that next yarn to make one for this one, so they can both go on my Christmas tree then. I might actually sit them in my garland rather than on my Christmas tree, because I do like them. I think they're really, really cute. So thank you for watching that. Just a bit of fun really, that one was. And I will see you for my final tutorial, which is going to be a pattern really rather than a tutorial, but it's something people keep asking for. So I wanted to show it and show how we could sort of then you make it for a scarf for yourself, your doll, whatever you're wanting to do. So I'll get that sorted as well. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye for now.